Hi guys, the former Attorney General and MP Dominic Grieve told Victoria Derbyshire that Rishi Sunak is leading a zombie government and that the Conservative Party is now more split than ever, even more divided than during the height of Brexit. Dominic claims that the party is going in two directions: the moderates who believe in the rule of law and the Suella Braverman Robert Jenrick faction who clearly don't and want Rishi Sunak to ignore international obligations and allow ministers to break the law. Have a listen to this.
Would it be good for the country for there to be another Tory leadership contest and a fourth Conservative Prime Minister within 12 months?
Well, hardly. We're facing something approaching a zombie government at the moment. On that, I perhaps might agree with David Campbell-Bannerman. But I agree with him that I don't see much prospect of this government recovering. It has, I'm afraid, been wrecked by Boris Johnson. That is where the destruction came from, and it's been impossible to put it back together again. But the idea that replacing Rishi Sunak with a new Prime Minister is going to save the Conservative Party from the destruction, which I think is coming towards it, I think is a complete fantasy. The reality is that it is now seriously split ideologically in a way that I've never seen before.
Come on, what about over Brexit? I mean, there have been many splits in the Tory party over the years.
Brexit is undoubtedly the origin of this, but actually the split has got much worse, because what we're now watching is a split between people who believe in the rule of law and people who don't actually believe in the rule of law at all, because the policy being pursued by Suella and indeed Robert Jenrick is not about the rule of law. It is in fact about a form of parliamentary tyranny, because it shows complete disregard for individual rights. And the way they've approached this issue, and I recognise as a serious issue over over migration and asylum seeking, but the way they've approached it shows that really they just think the basic rule book of how the United Kingdom should behave in its relation to its international obligations can just be torn up, and there are no consequences that flow from this, whereas there are in fact massive consequences, and the ultimate irony is it won't work.
It won't work, and it risks turning the United Kingdom into a pariah state, because the likes of Suella Braverman or Robert Jenrick are very happy with that. They won't suffer the consequences, but Britain will. Now, back to the zombie government. Rishi Sunak is in a bit of a fix. He has hitched his wagon to this immigration policy, and it's likely to bring him down. Neither side of his party are happy with it, especially the headbangers. They want him to go further, deeper into this. They want him to extract the UK from the Council of Europe, disapply the European Convention on Human Rights, and it risks bringing down his government. The rebellion is growing. The rebels are sharpening their knives. And it's likely that Rishi Sunak will be brought down. There are a number of bills and pieces of legislation going through Parliament next week, and it's likely there will be a rebellion. There's even talk of the headbangers meeting with Labour MPs to plan some sort of action against Rishi Sunak. That's how bad things have become. He's deeply unpopular within the Conservative Party. The members are not happy with him. They would have wanted to stick with Liz Truss. And it's possible that if Sunak does go, you're going to have another Prime Minister, another campaign, another leadership contest, at the time when the British people need true leadership. They need somebody dealing with the cost of living crisis. The last thing they need is another distraction. Waste of time. Schools are crumbling. The NHS is on its knees. It needs support now. It doesn't need politicking. It needs a government that is investing in the NHS. It needs a government that is providing it with the workers it needs. But instead we're seeing the opposite, because Rishi Sunak is chasing the headbangers. What do they want? They want an NHS on its knees. They want it having access to fewer workers. Social care the same. More barriers to bringing in people, and to hell with the consequences. But the idea that there would be another leadership contest is just insane. Is it possible? Yes, it's highly possible. Not because it's sane, but because sanity has gone out the window. It went out the window when Boris Johnson was put in charge. And I think Dominic Grieve is correct here when he says that the division here is deeper than in Brexit. Because when it came to Brexit, there was a disagreement about leaving the European Union. But this is more profound. This is about the rule of law. On the one side, you have conservatives, the One Nation conservatives saying we need to respect international law. And on the other side, you have the headbangers who are saying, no, we need to rip up the rule book. We should allow ministers to decide whether people go to Rwanda or not High Court judges or Supreme Court judges. It's insane. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.